it. We're recording and we'll just go from here. So hello, I'm so glad to meet you.
Be here, so glad.
I'm so excited for Thursday's event and for you to be helping Women Who with improvisation. Tell us a little bit, first let's talk about who you are, and you started We Are Funny Girls, and why?
Fantastic. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited on behalf of Funny Girls and myself to come in and play with everybody and do an interactive workshop on behalf of Women Who. So thank you.
Yes.
So I'm Hope. I am a humorist in Grand Rapids. When I was on the board of, I still am on the board of the Grand Rapids Improv Festival. We were looking through applications in 2015 and noticing that this comedy festival, which is open to anybody and everybody, just had this this pattern of improv troupes that are either all male or like there's one or two females, but they're very male fronted. And so I thought to myself, there's got to be a troupe out there that is all female, and come to find out in Grand Rapids or in West Michigan anyway, there wasn't. So in looking at all of these finalists for this improv festival, I thought, you know what, we need to show that Grand Rapids, the host of this festival, can represent females in comedy. So I up all of my favorite funny friends who either they've done improv and sketch, or they've done stand-up, or they just make me laugh on a daily basis. I got them together for a little, cocktails. Everything's best over cocktails. We talked about the opportunity and the possibility of coming together to represent an improv troupe. And we decided that the best way that we're going to do that, and the best way that we can improvise or act without a script, would be to read our old journals and diaries from when we were like,
oh, no.
from when
like
we were like
in junior high diaries, like, oh dear God.
Like the most incriminating kind, like the worst and like best material that you can get. We started reading that aloud to each other and just laughing and just being like, that's an experience that I also experienced, though. You know what I mean?
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that what happens? We just don't share things that we've gone through because we're ashamed of them, or there's so much shame surrounding an experience. But once we're able to talk about it, everyone goes through that puberty thing, right?
Yes. And when you're going through it, there's zero funny about it. Like, it is
yes, it's tragic. It's
dramatic. But upon reading these things, and some of us haven't read these things in years and years until we've read them out loud to each other, and just the kind of the camaraderie in the community of like, you felt that way, I felt that way, and the fact that we can laugh about that now was just so important, not only to us in comedy because it's great material, but it was important to us as women or women plus individuals who like identified and felt we were so alone, and realized that we are not alone, and we're still in these experiences. So we read these out loud to our audiences, these really, really personal, vulnerable diaries, and then we improvise based on those. So we'll tell that story. We'll find different ways to tell that story through improvisation. And the first time we did that for this festival, we thought, wow, this was a winner. We're gonna have to keep this format. So we opened it back up to other improvisers, to sketch writers, to stand-up comedians, to film enthusiasts, and we ended up creating this collective of women who can find their own funny through their own outlets, and we're here for them. So long story short, too long don't read. There was a lack of women represented in comedy in Grand Rapids. We got together and said we have so much more in common and so much more to offer. We started doing shows events, festivals, and workshops, and now we're this collective that just hopefully we're taking over the world.
I have to say, I've been an outsider and fangirling from the outside, like, what are they doing over there? I'd like to know more about what's going on. And so I haven't ever been able to attend an event, but now you describing it even more, I feel like so much FOMO. I wish I would have been there in the beginning. So it sounds amazing, and I'm excited for Thursday. So kind of take us through what you'll be doing with us on Thursday and kind of going through what this workshop will look like for women who, obviously, we're social distancing, bring your own lawn chair, wear a mask, but the fun part is that you'll be able to walk us through some improvisation. And what does that look like?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad that you hit all of those points that I was going to say, so I don't have to say them again. In a safe environment, in a not just safe where we are able to be vulnerable and allow that expression, but safe. Excuse me. We are wearing our masks. We are distancing. So it's all.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about how your eyes can smile, or I don't know. Everybody really struggling without showing their mouths, right? With the mask, there are so many other things you can do.
That's such a point. You can physically show that you are happy or not happy. So the workshop itself is going to be it's almost going to be backstage at a Funny Girls rehearsal. And I'm saying that, but with a precursor of I don't want you to have experience. You can have experience for this. You can have improv for this workshop. That's totally fine. But I'd almost rather the individuals who don't know what improv is or have never done it come through, so that we can say, so I'm married to an introvert and I am an extrovert. And I always thought my world was an extrovert world, and then I realized that it is not an extroverted world. It is a world that is between the two, and introverts actually run the world. And let me just say that.
No, that's really true.
So I'm not asking these performers and these like people who've done theater and improv and like I don't want them to come out. I do want them to come out, but I'm not asking for them to come out. This audience is going to be individuals who improvise in their everyday life. So we were kind of talking before this, you and I, that life isn't scripted and it will never be scripted. And even the things that are scripted right now in this pandemic are flipped up on their whatever side that we didn't even know existed.
Everything is changing constantly.
Yes. And so how to take these, I have these 5 rules of improv that I use on stage. But I've found that if you step outside of the theater life and you apply these rules of improv, you'll find that it is for me the rules of how I actually like do my day-to-days. So I'm not going to spoil it and give you the 5 rules.
I was like waiting for it. Wait, what? Tell me more.
But I will tell you that the everyone thinks the first rule of improv is to say yes and just to dive right in and like get it the extroverted way or this way. But the reality is that the first rule of improv is to listen. And this will be a really cool exercise of us listening to ourselves, listening to each other, and then taking the next 4 rules of improv and then just really playing and having fun.
That's amazing.
And you'll find that these rules parallel your unscripted life. And the more that you have these things like listen and say yes and the other ones, you'll begin to find that you don't have to be a performer every day of your life to perform, if that makes sense, and to perform
it does.
Get the goal you want to get to.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you just taking the time to talk to me now. I'm not sure you said your name in the beginning.
I'm sorry if
I think you went right into We Are Funny Girls. So just share your name with everyone so we're all on the same page.
I'll share a little bit about myself. So I'm Erin Becca Pope. I've been in the Grand Rapids theater community for almost 10 years now. in other different communities before then. Been doing improv for that full 10 years and teaching for 8 of those years, and different workshops with different organizations and businesses, but also performing and being able to have some fun with the Grand Rapids community. So thank you for not skipping that over and being able to actually let me introduce myself. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I all the time.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow evening. And I'm gonna put this out for everyone. And thank you. I'm excited.
Thanks, and I can't wait for people to come to this Women Who event, and then also like keep up with Women Who, because just because we are doing this improv this one time, I've been researching what you do, and it's every month you have somebody so new and so different, and inviting a non-binary individual too. Like I don't identify as a woman, though I've had an experience as a woman, but the fact that we're inviting just so many different stories, I just want people to keep following you and keep up with you guys. And like, if you love this, keep up, because they asked us to do this and they know what they're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. See you out there.
Bye.